And now, your weather authority. Brought to you by Mississippi Lottery. Have fun, y'all.
Well, good morning, South Mississippi. Happy Monday. Happy first full week of November, the last month of hurricane season. And of course, when things finally start to get a little cold on us, which we've had some periods of that, but it's really just been after those fronts moving through. But it's going to get a lot more consistently cold. Now, we are starting off a little bit on the colder side. It's coldest morning of the week, it looks like, down into the lower 40s. By the time we head off to school, though, usually between about 7 and 8, we'll have started bouncing back by then with the falling back, getting that sunrise up about an hour earlier. So we'll see, we're already seeing it kind of coming up now, so that's pretty good. And as we head into the afternoon, it'll be nothing but sun with that high pressure building in and lingering in the area for most of the week, going to lead to a lot of sunshine. Just initially, not a lot of warmth out there. Again, normal for this time of year is like mid-70s, and we'll be upper 60s today. So not a major drop without crazy winds, but it's definitely going to be a bit cool. So looking at the tropics here, all of our hurricane season content brought to you by Mississippi Power. Once again, no potential areas of interest and Melissa gone. So that's pretty much what all of last week was about, and now nothing going on out there as far as anything to worry about. Melissa being the last named storm there, and we're still on the lookout for Nestor with no indication that that's expected to develop anytime within the next week. We might see an area of interest pop up. There's nothing too important looking out there, at least in that regard. But it's not impossible we could start seeing one of those later on. But so far, looking quiet out there. And looking quiet here, sun is coming up to join us, finally starting to lighten up that dark sky. You don't see any clouds out there, and you're not gonna see any out there today. Just a whole lot of sunshine. Once again, though, just not a whole lot of warmth. Things nice and cool out there. Small Craft Harbor, though, and Highway 90 in the distance looking pretty good from the Hancock-Whitney camera in Bay St. Louis. But it is about 10 to 12 degrees cooler than it was by this time yesterday out there as that colder, drier air moves in along with that warm front, kind of moving in on the back of a front that looked like it last week, at least, it might bring us some early Sunday rain. I didn't see any indication that that actually happened, but it never looked like a very well put together front anyway. So definitely lucked out on that regard with the lack of rainfall. But things are cooling down all the way down into the upper 30s. You factor in what it actually feels like out there, more wind chill than heat index right now, but feels like about 37 in our cool spot there in Poplarville right now, lower 40s on the coastline. So if you don't have that winter stuff out yet, and none of the cold fronts we've had over the last few weeks have gotten you to do that, I would recommend it because it's only going to get a little bit more consistent. Now this week will slowly warm up, but we're going to have more of those before you know it. So another cold to chilly start with a cool and sunny afternoon, high in the upper 60s, 69 degrees for Gulfport there with northerly winds at about 10 miles per hour, shifting slightly easterly as we head into the night and still staying right around 6 miles per hour. Nice and cool. 45 degrees the expected low, so a little bit warmer than it was this morning, but not quite back to normal. And that's, again, because of this high. When a high pressure moves in, generally, at least initially, that brings you those northerly winds and cool, dry air. Eventually, though, it starts moving east of you and sets up that return flow that starts warming things up and generally indicates a front is on its way. But this high is just going to kind of linger in the area, basically sitting right on the western edge there of Mississippi and eastern Louisiana and just kind of bouncing around. Eventually cloud cover, very light cloud cover, starts to work its way back in. And it's not until the end of the week that this finally shifts east of us, and that's what gives us that return flow. You can see those arrows there, the streamlines turning red, indicating warm air advection, picking up a little moisture there off the Gulf and pushing into the area, which does start warming things up and generally starts bringing cloud cover. But for the entirety of the week, it doesn't look like we'll see any rain. A small chance of that as we head like 10% or so as we head into the weekend there, but a whole lot of sunshine. We'll just slowly work our way up, even getting consistently above average in our mornings and our afternoon temperatures. So starting off almost winter-like, but we'll be kind of right back towards early fall as we finish things off.